The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music and the industry, and all other aspects related to rock and heavy metal. This episode, we are going all the way back to talk about Download Festival 2008. I am Adam, and as always, I'm here with Simon. How are you doing, my man?
Hello and good day to you, sir / my man.
My man. Hopefully that was said in the correct way for you. Not going to complain this episode about how I'm saying it.
That was spectacular.
It was, yeah, okay. Maybe
Beautiful.
It was just Stu's presence.
Thank God we got rid of that guy. Jesus Christ. Can take 2 more minutes of it.
Yeah, we haven't got him coming back anytime soon. No, he's not coming back. Okay.
Thank God. No, I'm joking. I love you, Stu. I'm only joking, mate.
No, just in my head, I was thinking we've got one episode without him. Yes, we have got him coming back for next episode.
Do we?
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Just got rid of him.
Yeah. It's going to be you and Stu.
That's it. Just me and
You
Stu.
and several Stews. No, anyway, 2008 was a long time ago now, it feels like. You went to 2008. I went to 2008. We had a brief chat before. I don't remember a lot from 2008. But unlike some other previous downloads, I know exactly why I don't remember much about it. So, do you remember much about Download 2008?
I remember quite a lot of Download 2000. I remember quite a lot of every download I've been to. There's only a few that are blurrier than others. But yeah, I remember quite a lot from this one, actually. I mean, it was the typical, there was loads of us going at this point. So it was literally hammered times. But still, I do remember. I was never the sort of person that got drunk in the arena. I never really have been one of those people. So everything from the days I remember, the evenings, not so much.
That's fair. Oh, yeah. So, you just reminded me, actually, that you remember all of the weathers as well.
I do.
So it's probably something inside you that's a little bit different to most people.
Yeah.
The fact so what was the weather like? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was...
Well, I know you can remember.
it was overcast a lot of the time. But there were breaks of sunny spells. So there was a couple of breaks. But it was, I think that the first day was like one of the coldest days on record for Download. It wasn't wet. It was just really, really cold. And that is backed up by all the pictures I've got. Everyone is in like woolly hats, hoodies and jackets on the first. I think it was the Thursday. Wednesday or the Thursday. It might have been the Thursday. But yeah, one of them... And then I went to collate my memory with some historical weather data, and I was correct. It was like super cold that day. And then the rest of the time it was pretty mild, but yeah, quite overcast with sunny spells. But it didn't really rain that much at all. So it was a dry but cold download. So not a bad one, but not a great one either, weather-wise.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of my first memories... or what I thought was a memory. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong download. And I know this is something I said on the show before, so maybe it was like 2007, and I thought I'm thinking of the wrong one. But I know as we got there, I thought it started to rain when we got there. And so I was, I already had a few beers from the car to getting in. This could have been one of the ones that there was a big wait, actually, to get in. Because we were always there before the gates opened. So yeah, I was quite drunk, panicking, setting up my tent, and I just threw my stuff over onto the floor to do that. But I left my sleeping bag out in the rain, and it was wet for the whole of Download after that.
Oh, that's awful.
I'm pretty sure that was 2008.
It could have been. There could have been some rain. There could have been some rain. I haven't.
We could have been camped in different areas. I think we were in red, and you were always in blue, weren't you?
We were, we were in blue for this year as well, yeah. I was in blue for different. 5, 6, 8, 9, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I was in blue for a lot of time. Yeah, 7 we couldn't get into blue because it was too busy. We got there too late. And 2010 they didn't open blue. They opened white first. So we got put in white rather than blue because we didn't want to. Everyone didn't want to wait around for blue camp. So those are
I remember that actually. I do remember that. Yeah, because everyone was just stood around on the outside waiting for it to open.
Yeah. And everyone else was just like, we're not waiting for this. We'll go to white camp. I was like, guys, we have to camp in blue. and it wasn't half as good as 2010. And not because we didn't camp in blue, but I still think that might have had something to do with it. But yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, obviously, we are very keen to talk about 2008. It's been a long time since we've done one of these episodes. 2007 was, I think it was just over a year ago.
Nice.
But we completely skipped over a part of the show. How has your last couple of weeks been, Simon? How are you doing?
We just started talking about that. We're excited to talk about old downloads. Yeah, good. Not really much to report. Oh, actually, there is one big thing to report, which is Ashes by Dawn playing Metal to the Masses. So
yeah,
that's very, very exciting. I don't think we have a chance of winning as we're a brand new band, and the other ones that we're against are well established. But yeah, I think it will be a great gig. It always does really well in Gloucestershire, so it should be packed out anyway. So not a bad start. We'll get some ears and some eyes on us at least. So yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because you knew about that at the last episode, but you couldn't. Well, you didn't want to say.
Yeah, it hadn't been
announced.
So, so I didn't want to. I know, no one's really going to care that much, but I didn't want to say it if it hadn't been announced because I didn't want people being like, "Oh, let's have a look online." Oh no, wait, he's lying. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. Actually, I remember you saying it would have been announced by the time we put the episode out, but you still didn't want to say it. And I think I didn't see you put a post out about it before. So maybe it was delayed by a few days or something. So it's a good job you didn't say it.
Yeah, because we went to the launch show where they announced all the rounds, and that was great to see our name up in lights. Cool. But yeah, then for like 3 or 4 days after that, they didn't put anything up online. So I was like, you've announced the show, but then you haven't followed it up with social media stuff. But eventually they did. But yeah, so tickets are on sale and all that stuff. So if anyone is near the Gloucestershire, Cheltenham area, it will be taking place there.
Yeah, cool. I'll put a link to the tickets as well. I'll put a link in there so people can find out what the date and everything, when it's going to be, and if you think you can go.
Yeah, I've already managed to trick a lot of my friends into coming. So
cool. I'm going to try. I'm working the next day, and it's like an hour drive back for me. But I don't really see any other reason why I can't come. It's not like I'm going to be gutted that I can't get wasted. I mean, you might be on quite early.
Yeah, I don't know what time we're coming on yet or not. It looks like we're like third on the poster, but I don't think that has anything to do with set time. So we could be first or last. I have at this stage. I think one of the other bands will be last because they've got the biggest following. But yeah,
okay,
we'll see.
That's probably done deliberately like that as well, so people can't just show up for the band that they want to see, which is it's probably a good thing. I like that. I appreciate that. But yeah, so I'll try. I should be able to. It should be all right.
Okay. Sweet.
When music?
No idea.
Hear music. I've heard a little bit of music.
No idea. That's why we're putting clips online. We're trying to sort of get people because it sounds good, but recording is a whole different ball game. So yeah, we've messed around with some stuff, and yeah, we'll see. But we're still toying with some other stuff as well. But we don't want to put something out that we're not 100% happy with. So we want it to reflect us very well. And the guys in the band will tell you how annoying I am because I have very high standards and I don't let those slip, and they'll tell you how much of an absolute arsehole I am. But for the best I am only an arsehole for the very best reasons, is that I'm really trying to squeeze all these guys are incredible musicians, but I'm really trying to squeeze every ounce of talent out of them that I can. So I am like a Nazi at the moment because I'm just fed up of years of being in good bands and them just falling apart or people not trying or whatever. So I am going to try my hardest to drag these guys kicking and screaming towards something decent, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and that alone will probably put you above like 95% of the bands out there.
I hope so. we'll see what the rest of the guys are saying, because they've probably got some things to say about me. But
Yeah. Just sort of a new band name for you if that one fails. Squeezed by Simon.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. That's
Well,
my new
Simon
side
Says.
project. Simon Says. I like Squeezed by Simon. I can imagine all of the album covers.
Album name.
Oh,
Squeezed by Simon.
Squeezed by Simon.
And have those guys
in
like an
the
orange, and you.
Giant me squeezing tiny little versions of them. That's a great idea.
That'd be amazing.
But anyway, enough about me. How have you been, sir?
I've been good. Yeah, doing all right. Nothing really new. Nothing spectacularly new. I did put a YouTube video out eventually. Yeah, I said I was going to ages ago.
How did it feel to finally get it out in the world?
It felt good to release it. After I wasn't so sure. I don't think I'm going to carry on with YouTube. I know I've only done one video. It's not me. Similar to the reason why I didn't do this podcast on my own originally. Like, I found it hard. It took me 15 hours to do that 10-minute episode. And I know, so I've been following like a few subreddits for ages now, for years, like small YouTubers or newtubers, and I've picked up a load of stuff. And one thing that actually got me finally to kick myself in the ass and get it out and really, really work on it was I saw a post saying, like, just if you want to do it, get something out. Your first video is going to be crap. It's not going to be good. Your second video is going to be crap. Mm-hmm. But by the 10th video, you would have picked up a few little things. And so I wasn't expecting it to be anything spectacular. But yeah, it's just not me. I can't put myself through that every week. I was planning on doing more than one a week, and I can't put myself through that. I don't have the time. My time is more valuable being put into doing more stuff for the podcast, I think, or maybe a few other bits if I want to do it. Mm. So it was fun. It was cool. But I don't think I'm going to carry on.
Okay.
Maybe at some point in the future.
I was going to say, at least now you've got it out there, you know what it's all about. So if you do want to go back to it, you can just go back to it. Or you can just come and be a guest on my YouTube. Oh, my lights ran out. You come be a guest on mine instead.
Fine with that, yeah. But yeah, and like I said, I've done it, I've tried it, and I can stop saying when I do my YouTube, or I'll do this, once I've got my YouTube out, I'll do this.
Yeah, you're like, it's out. Well, no.
Now I can move on to something else.
I could just
something else that I already had on the back burner, which is another YouTube, actually. So yeah, I'll announce that in due time.
Do you think you would be better off doing like a faceless one, where you're not on camera? Is that where your issue lies?
That was the plan originally. I was going to have like just myself at the beginning and a little bit at the end, and have like, because I put loads of little bits in edit it all in, and I was going to have just like live video of some of the bands that I was talking about, and I thought, I'm just ripping this off of YouTube, so I might just get a copyright strike or something like that. So I decided not to go with them anyway. But yeah, it was alright. It wasn't because my face was on it. It was just, I need someone to bounce off of. I need someone to talk to, not just talk
at the camera.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry. I was planning on saying all that at the end, but I
dragged it out of you. Sorry.
Everything else is fine. Everything's good. Like I say, I'm looking forward to doing more for this now. Yeah, no, it's everything. Everything's fine. Everything's good. I'm fine. Should we talk about Download 2008?
We should. Shall I give some things that were in big sellers and some movies from that year, just to put people in the mindset of 2008?
Yeah, I forgot you did this. Like I said, it's been such a long time since we did 2007. Yes, that will actually really help.
Okay,
me and to listeners.
So 2008. I don't have any pop culture stuff, but I do have, to start off with, the highest grossing movies of 2008. And I want you to tell me how many of these you saw in the cinema. So at number one, grossing 530 million, it's The Dark Knight. It is a great film, to be fair. Then we have second, Iron Man. Third, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. 4, Hancock. 5, Wall-E. 6, Kung Fu Panda. 7, Madagascar 2. 8, Twilight, the first one. 9, James Bond, Quantum of Solace. And 10, Horton Hears a Who, which I have no idea what that is.
No, I don't.
But I mean, that's a good year for films, man. I mean, Iron Man, first one was the shit. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
Saw that in cinema. The Dark Knight,
I did.
I think still to this day is one of the greatest movies ever made. It's probably, what has it
Yeah,
got?
it was really good.
It's got, what, the second highest IMDb score of all time, I think, that film.
Has it?
I think The Godfather has the highest, and then it's Dark Knight. I'm pretty sure it's like at least top 5 on there. And Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, I don't hate as much as everyone else does. So
I've seen it. I haven't seen any of the other Indiana Joneses.
part-time. That's all I'm going to say. If you get that,
What?
if you get that reference, part-time. There you go. That's for all you hardcore Indiana Jones fans. There's like a very famous line in the movie. I can't remember what the line is before, but Harrison Ford says part-time, and in the trailer he says part-time like that. But they must have used the wrong take in the movie, and he just goes part-time, and it's just the worst response or bit of acting you've ever seen. And they used that, but in the trailer they put the good one. So it's just one of those little sort of movie Easter eggs that people always reference. So
no,
don't mention it. But yeah,
awesome.
That's good. But yeah, anyway, and Hancock, that was all right. I saw that and I saw Quantum of Solace. So I saw like 4 or 5 of the highest grossing movies. So I suppose I added to those numbers.
I saw 2.
Yeah, see, it's decent. What was the other one?
Twilight.
Iron Man and Shut up! Did you see Twilight in the cinema?
I think I did. I think
my god!
Hang on, no, this is weird.
Was this to appease a woman, or was this just because you really wanted to go?
It was for a woman.
Okay, well that's fine then. That's acceptable.
Thinking about it, I definitely saw the second one in the cinema. I might not have seen the first one in the cinema.
Oh, okay.
Because the next thing I was going to add, was that everything? You've done films?
I've got some albums.
Okay, sorry, yeah. I'll go into that in a minute then.
Okay.
Just do the albums.
And top selling, I'm going to put in brackets, alternative albums. Well, the first one isn't, but the first one is one of my favourite albums, so I've included it. Coldplay, Viva La Vida. That is my favourite Coldplay album. It's fucking amazing. AC/DC, Black Ice. That was a big album at the time. Nickelback, Dark Horse. Great album. Metallica, their return album, Death Magnetic, of course, after the trash that was St. Anger. It was a breath of fresh air. Slipknot, All Hope Is Gone, the most underappreciated of all the Slipknot albums. Bullet My Valentine, Scream, Aim, Fire. That was a huge album at the time.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
And one of my personal favourite, most underrated metal albums of all time, Scar Symmetry, Holographic Universe.
Yes, I've listened to that. No, I don't know. I have no idea. Has that got the Anomaly on it?
Is that on Pitch Black Progress, or is that on that one? I can't remember.
I don't know much Scar Symmetry. It just comes on when I listen to my Swedish stuff. So I don't know their song names, or even if it's them most of the time. Because I'm walking around, I don't look at who it's on.
Yeah, but there was. I mean, that was just ones that I just picked, but there was obviously more than that. But yeah, 2008 was not the best year for music, but it was pretty decent.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. Now that we're talking about it, I'm starting to doubt myself. But 2008 was the year I went to university, and I think I did. Was that the year that Metamorphosis was out?
That was 2009. Was it 8?
2009 was when I went to uni. Then
2006 was Paramore Sessions. So when was the next one? Now. Was it 8 or 9? It was one of those.
I think it might be 9 now. You said it.
I don't know. I'm thinking 9, but you might be right with 2008.
Just got to check. Hold, please.
Hold. Put some hold music here.
It was 2009. Okay, so it was the year before I went to uni. What the hell was I doing this year then?
What were you doing?
I have no idea. I have no idea what I did in 2008. So yeah, my next question... Well, actually, it was still before I went to uni. So my next question was going to be, do you know what you were doing roughly in 2008?
In 2008, I was doing labouring as a job on a building site. So I was literally just being the extra guy, the hand, passing people shit, I was doing some roofing at the time, actually. So I was doing some good stuff. And that was about it, really. Being a bit of a bum. Getting drunk all the time, going to the pub, just seeing my mates, shagging around. Yeah, it's just doing what a normal... I don't even know how old I was. Must have been mid-20s, I think, at that point.
Yeah. Do you know what? Before we go on, I need to find out, because I spent 2002, 2003, started uni in started college in 2003. No, that is right. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm
just trying to work out how old I was. I think I was 24 in 2008. Around that. 24, 25, I think.
24. Yeah. I would have been 86, 96, 06.
So you'd have been what?
Would have been 20.
21, 22? 21, 22-ish?
Yeah. So I was actually in my last year of college then. Probably about to go into my last year of college. Because I spent 6 years in college. Ridiculously.
Oh my God. I was thinking, that's a fucking long time to be in college, isn't it?
Yeah. So everything I thought has gone out the window because I thought I was at uni in 2008. Because I was going back through my Facebook pictures trying to find some pictures of Download 2008 and try and work out when it was and what I was doing. And also trying to see the campsite, trying to find pictures of the campsite because I think I said before, I'll remember things easier if I can remember who I was with and what the campsite looked like.
Yeah.
And so I saw pictures of me at uni, and it said 2008, but I couldn't have. That's impossible.
It's impossible.
So I've ruined it for myself now. I don't know where to go from here. That's just completely put me off.
Blown your little mind. I'll send you guys. I send you pictures to put up for everyone to see. I got loads of pictures of 2008.
Have you? Nice.
Yeah, loads of me and Leader. Of course, we know that Leader's a friend of the podcast. Leader, singer of In Search of Sun. Me and him were sharing a tent that year, so that was good fun. Whenever me and Leader shared a tent, and I don't mean a tent. I mean a tent. This was a 1-sheet 2-man tent that you could fit 1 man in, but 2 men were in it. That's how close we were. We literally had to put our bags down the center of the tent to separate us. Otherwise, we would literally basically be pretty much sleeping together. Yeah. And, once your cock touches someone, you have to fuck them. So we would have had to have had gay. I'll say gay sex, but it's just sex, I guess, now these days. We would have had to have sex with each other if we would have touched. So yeah.
I did not know about that rule.
You didn't know about that rule?
No.
Don't worry, mate. We got twin beds next week. We're not going to touch each other.
Excellent. Good. So yes, going back a little bit. So yeah, I spent 6 years in college, 2 years just messing around. Then in my third year, I didn't want to work full time, so I went back because I had a year for free still, and I did music because some of my friends were doing it, and I was like, do you know what? I'm really good at this. I really like this. So I then ended up doing 4 years of music altogether.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it, and so I was a poor student, and in 2008. I had 20 quid the whole weekend. We've talked about this before. I know you said you've had like the same one of the years. This was the year I had only 20 quid to spend. I was skint, but I had a load of beer and I probably I didn't take any food with me. I just had a load of beer, and at this point we were taking loads. I probably would have had 4 or 5 crates of beer, but hardly any money. So that's why I don't remember anything, because I didn't go to the arena very much. I worked out I could eat once a day on this £20, but I found that drinking curbed my hunger a little bit. So I just stayed at the campsite drinking a lot of the time.
That's insane.
Yeah. What we did as kids, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I was living at home at this point. I was still, earning money from working, but I wouldn't have had a lot of money. And Mum probably would have supplied me with most of my food. I probably bought my own alcohol, but yeah, I definitely would have been under Mum's supplies. She would have gone, there you go, there you go, there you go, and then I would have gone off. So, because me and Adam were still living at home at this point, so it would have been whatever Mum gave, which is why we had such a shitty tent, because it was the same tent. I was still using at this point the same tent that me and my girlfriend had used in 2005 when I originally went. I kept the tent the whole time. I kept the tent kept the tent right up to 2009, and then it perished. It started getting holes in, and then 2010, me and Leader bought a tent that wasn't a complete tent, but I'll get to that when we do 2010. It's quite a funny story. Expensive story. Expensive story.
Could be 2 or 3 years until we get there.
So, this tent was terrible. It was really, really bad. So even at this point, it was... And what we done, this is a memory that's just come back to me. Sorry, I have to get this out before it goes. So we had those like little tents, like the little sort of just ones where it's just one sheet, that, and then they got the little bit on top so it doesn't leak. We were like, oh, they look really lonely by themselves. So we put all of our tents close together. So there was door, door, door. So you had a gap, but you had 3 tents. It was my tent,
Right.
Ronnie's tent, and I can't remember who the other person's tent was. And then we just put a giant tarp over all of our tents. So we had like a little village. So whenever you came out, you could see their entrance and their entrance. So we basically created an expensive tent out of a tarp and 3 cheap tents.
Nice.
It was great. It was wicked.
Awesome. So I have got the map. I'm just gonna have a really quick look at it. Obviously, you have a. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Now I've got it in my head a bit more. What was going on. I think we might have been in yellow. I'm pretty sure we camped quite close to the village this year, and we that's all we heard. We just heard the music and drowning
Constantly.
pool bodies over and over over again.
Oh my God, that would get annoying.
Yeah. Or am I thinking of a different year? We camped very similar, but I don't know. Anyway, it was a long time ago. It was 17 years ago, 2008. So, shall we start talking about that? Should we have a quick look at the lineup first?
Sure, let's talk about the lineup.
Shall I share my screen, or do you want to?
I've got it on my phone, dude.
Have a look at it together. So, I was going to have a look actually. I didn't get a final number, but there are quite a lot of bands that played in 2008 that are there again this year. I've just counted them up. It's 10, which actually doesn't sound too bad.
No, but still, it's still 10 bands that played in 2008 that are playing in 2025. So that is pretty awesome.
17 years later.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It depends on who. No, we're not going to get into that. We're going to say no. Yeah, ignore me. I've had a look through a lot of the lineup. There are some bands that I obviously didn't really know at the time. I don't know who they are now. But I don't think this was the best year. And from the book that I read, it sounds like a lot of other people thought the same. A lot of people were disappointed with the headliners. What do you think?
I don't know. Like,
how much
Kiss,
did you enjoy it?
Yeah, like Kiss, fantastic. Offspring, that's another great headliner. Well, I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room first of all. That your Sunday headliners for Dano 2008 were Lost Prophets. Now, that sounds really bad now, but at the time, that was incredible because they were huge and they were new. So you've got Offspring and Kiss, and then you've got your new band, which is kind of what you expect Downer to do these days. So they were doing the right thing with this lineup, putting 2 established acts and then a sort of gamble. Yeah. So at the time, it was good. I mean, like, I'll go up the days because I did spend a lot of time in the arena for this. So and I know you didn't. If I'm looking at the Friday, I didn't get in until Slaves to Gravity on the Gibson stage, the 3rd stage, because I was really into Slaves to Gravity, and so was my friend Laura. So one of my memories is going into that tent when we sat on the grass. I think Beat Union were just finishing. We sat down and it was completely empty, and then we were just chatting to each other, getting drunk, and we turned around and the tent was packed, and we were like, what the hell, where did all these people come from? But I just remember the grass being really nice and green in there as well, and Slaves to Gravity were great. And then I think we just either stayed in there or got drunk or went back, and then obviously we got there for Kid Rock and he cancelled. Yeah. So I think Disturbed, Motorhead and Priest both had time added to their sets. But we were very excited to hear that Disturbed got an extra 30 minutes. So we watched Disturbed and it was awesome. I remember that being a really, really good gig. There is a few clips of it online. Obviously, they're shoddy quality, but it is cool to see. I remember they had the Indestructible backdrop because that album had only just come out at that point. So that was pretty cool. Then we watched Motorhead, who were awesome. And then we went back to the tents while Priest were playing, got absolutely loaded, and then got back in time for Kiss. And Kiss were, wow, they blew me away. Me and Leader were looking at each other like, I literally cannot believe what we just witnessed. We just saw Kiss live. So, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I heard.
That's what I remember of that day, yeah.
So I chose to go and see Simple Plan over Kiss.
Okay.
This day, and I think a lot of people thought I was a bit silly to do that. But I loved Simple Plan at the time. I really did, and I'd never seen them before. I didn't really know much by Kiss, so I was just like, oh, I'm going to watch Simple Plan, and I loved it. I think I was quite close to the front. I'll get into that a bit later, actually. But yes, I remember listening. Like you could hear Kiss because it was so loud. And we never talked about the layout. We'll talk about that later, probably in a lot of depth.
I was going to go into it.
Yeah,
I was going to go into it through this because there is something that I need to mention about the bands that I think the layout was maybe the cause of it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, that sounds fine to me. We'll go into it through this, but yeah. So I remember hearing all these Kiss songs from the second stage, and I'm like, oh, I know that one. Oh, I know that one. Oh, I know that one. I didn't think I knew any Kiss, or not many at the time. But yeah, so and it did sound like it would have been good, and I was a little bit gutted I missed them, but also I needed to see Simple Plan, and they were amazing. It's one of my favorite memories of all downloads, seeing Simple Plan on the second stage there. So yeah,
nice.
Finger 11, I'm pretty sure I was a fan of Finger 11 at the time, and I did not get into the arena to see them. I was a really big Finger 11 fan for a long time. I obviously still like a lot of their stuff. They haven't put out much for a while now. But yeah, I remember being pretty gutted I didn't see them. I think that's it. I did see Disturbed. I remember Kid Rock. This was the first time he'd been over here for a long time. Mm-hmm. And he obviously had American Badass that came out, which was a massive song. Every single person on the planet liked it. That was a few years earlier. I just trying to remember if he put out another single. There was 2 big ones that he put out, but I can't remember what the second one was. But it wasn't long before this, I want to say. So like a lot of people were looking forward to him. I don't think it would be the same now. It wouldn't be as much of the case.
No, but this was 2008, so
yeah, a lot of people were looking forward to him, and they just didn't turn up. So
no, he didn't. No, well, apparently, what people said, I think he was breaking up with Pamela Anderson at the time, wasn't he? And loads of people said that he was ill, but actually, he said that he had a broken heart and he didn't want to perform in later years, I think. Right. Since that, but yeah, so it could be any of those reasons, but that's just some of the things that I read.
Yeah, I didn't actually look that up at all. I should have, but well, you did.
I did, so it's fine.
Yeah, the next day.
Well, before we move on, I just want to put this picture in people's heads that obviously this is considered to be air quotes the transitional year for Download because we've spoken about it many times, but obviously Monsters of Rock and what's called the classic phase of Download from 2003 to 2007 obviously all took place in the infield of the racetrack, but the racetrack was being upgraded. They couldn't move to where they wanted to in 2009, so they literally just had to have the festival somewhere else away from it. So they chose this. So I just to give people a bit of perspective that where Black Camp is now, the hill of Black Camp is where you would have stood to see the main stage. The main stage was like at the bottom of Black Camp. So where we came in this year, and we came in and then went left to go to Blue, where we were walking in, that would have been where the main stage was plonked pretty much. So just to give people a bit of perspective about, they had to put the festival in a really weird place. The problem with this was the camping was literally on the other side of the racetrack. So it was, a 40-minute walk at least?
It was a long walk, yeah. Really long walk.
Which was one of what everyone's real main gripe with this festival was. It was in a really fucking weird place because they just didn't know where to put it. The second stage was on tarmac, which we will talk about. Yeah. Which is pretty much where the village is now, is where the second stage was, just randomly there. So in all manner of speaking, band-wise, where the festival was wise, this was just a very odd Download that doesn't fit in with, it's kind of like the bastard child of Downloads. This and the pilot are the two bastard children of of Download, basically, because they're the only two that are considerably different to the other ones.
Yeah.
Which is just weird. So I thought I would just say it to people. But the main reason I wanted to talk about that was the sound on the main stage was pretty much fucking awful the entire time, apart from the headliners. So I just wanted to mention that all the bands I saw on the main stage had just the worst sound they've had at Download. And I think it's because where it was in 2007 and previously, obviously, they knew where everything was going. They knew what the sound was going to be like. They knew where to put everything. And this time they just had no fucking idea how the reverberation was going to work, just how anything was going to sound in that place. And it sounded like dog shit.
Yeah.
So that was my main takeaway from this festival. If you would have spoken to 2008 Simon, he would have been raging about the sound the whole time. Just on the main stage. The second stage sounded good, but the main stage, for the most part, and apart from Kiss, was just absolutely shit. So I don't know if any of that has brought any memories flooding back to you.
Not of 2008, but it was either last year or the year before. We actually stood at the top of Black, didn't we? Where it sort of goes towards the co-op, and we were like, look around. This is where the stage was in 2008.
Yeah,
and that was cool. That was a cool realization.
That was cool. To stand there and be like, oh shit, yeah, look at that. I was stood there watching fucking Skindred in 2008.
Yeah, I didn't see
Skindred
in
in
2008.
It's kind of mad that we know this site so well. We can just literally just point and go, yeah, that's where 2008 was right there.
yeah. But there was. Stop it. Get into that later. There's something else I want to say about that later. Yeah. So you probably know the reason, but I obviously didn't say it. But so apparently they had built a motocross track. Or motocross. It's a track, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is a track. Motocross track in the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah.
So that's why they had to move the arena outside. That was the stage. Yeah, the arena. For fuck's sake, what's wrong with me tonight? The arena outside of the racetrack.
It was weird. Infinitely worse, because I remember when we went the first day, and we were walking. I'm like, where the fuck are we going? Like, what? And then when we got there, I hadn't paid attention really. I knew it had been moved, but I hadn't really paid attention to sort of where. And when we got there, I was like, I have never seen this part of this fucking place before. Obviously, now we know it quite well because, you know, we parked in West Car Park, which that was for a long time, and now we pretty much camp on. You know, people camp on it, but it's just very strange at the time when I was just like, I have no idea where we're going. When we got there, I was like, oh, this is disgusting. It looks horrible. I think that's just one of those things to top off why 2008 is not the most fondly remembered Download. It just wasn't very well. It wasn't very well laid out. It looked terrible.
Another quick thing to say actually about the sticking on the layout is, obviously you said it was a long walk, but it was a lot of dust as well. I think it might have been tarmac along there now.
Oh,
but
really?
it
was like a dust track before, wasn't it? Yeah, it was horrible.
And the whole walk was just dust. And because you had, tens of thousands of people walking on it, it was just kicking the dust up. It was like, maybe not quite like Lorna Shore.
It was like that, just with people walking without deathcore.
Yeah.
Should we go to the next day? Let's go to Saturday. So Saturday, I will just let me look down the lineup to see when I would have got into this day. Trying to see okay, so I already know what I would have got in. I think we got in, so we got in for Skindred on the main stage. That was the first thing we watched. Then we watched Job for a Cowboy. Then I think we watched, then we watched 36 Crazy Fists. Then we didn't watch Alter Bridge because we went to see Bleeding Through on the second stage,
right?
Which was so good. I still remember them doing a circle pit around the sound tower. It was absolutely insane. Like, oh my God, just Bleeding Through needs to play again at Download. It's fucking stupid that they don't come over and play that festival. I messaged them. Well, they put out the new album a couple of weeks ago. It's fucking amazing, by the way. And I messaged them and said, "Oh man, I've been a fan like since 2005. Met you guys on multiple occasions. Obviously, you'll never remember. But I wrote, you guys really need to come over and play to the UK fans at Download Festival. And Trustkill Records liked my my response. So I was like, that's fucking awesome, because I had so many Trustkill Records albums back in the day because I was such a hardcore metalcore guy. And they put out some of the greatest records of all time, like Caliban and just all those fucking Unearth, all those just amazing old school bands. So it was amazing that someone from Trustkill liked my post, because I was like, that's epic. Awesome.
Yeah,
But
nice.
anyway, I digress. Anyway,
can I add something on that?
Sure.
So we said last episode we're going to see Self-Deception next Thursday. Well, they put a post out saying, what songs do you want to hear on our UK leg? So, I mean, most other people were just putting stuff from the new album because that's all they know, because they're noobs. So I went back and I needed to find out the names of all the ones I like on all their albums. Didn't take very long, about 20 minutes. Posted it. The next time I looked, they deleted it. So completely the opposite of your story. They deleted.
it.
Not just my comment. They deleted the whole thing. So I was like, why? I spent ages doing that, you bastards.
Is it because they were like, no one's going to like our set because we're not playing any of these songs?
Maybe. No, it would have been. I mean, everyone knows what their big songs are, but like,
okay.
Like, I want to show you how much of a fan I am, how much of a true fan. I like all of your stuff, not just, probably a bit of a lame thing to do, maybe.
No,
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do. You're a fan. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. These bands, man, they don't even like people's posts anymore.
Yeah, they delete them. Yeah, anyway,
Thanks.
sorry. Yeah, maybe
It's all right. So Bleeding Through, they were amazing. Yeah, like I said, like just that circle pit around the sound tower, I'll always remember. But I just remember thinking, having this stage on tarmac is really fucking weird. I remember thinking at the time, like, this doesn't feel right. Like, people are going down hard to this band, Circle Pits, Walls of Death, whatever the hell they were doing. And I was like, it looked nasty, but I wasn't involved. I was sort of on the outside. But yeah, it was still great.
I never really even thought of that, which is stupid of me. It just didn't cross my mind. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'd have some people write in talking about how
okay, we'll get to that.
brutal it was,
Yeah, then I remember sitting on the hill watching Biffy Clyro, because I actually liked quite a few Biffy Clyro songs by this point. And I thought, wow, they're a good band. Never knew, obviously, they'd come back and headline in how many other years. Then Bullet, they were great, but again, sound terrible. And Incubus were awesome, but the sound was unbearably bad for Incubus, which is such a letdown, because I'm still a big Incubus fan, but at this time I was a massive Incubus fan.
Yeah.
And then I did not watch The Offspring. I went and watched him headline the second stage. And then I went back to the camp, had some sex, and then got drunk.
Excellent.
That was my Saturday at Download Festival 2008. What about you? Do you remember anything from this lineup?
I almost certainly would have gone to see 36 Crazy Fists. I may have watched The Offspring, but that's the only bands that would I have seen Bullet? Did I see Bullet for my Valentine? I might have seen Bullet, and yeah, I probably went and saw Bullet. I doubt I was there for Medina Lake. That's a weird name to see.
Yeah. They were quite big at this time. Their album that had come out the year before was done really, really well.
Yeah. I also thought this lineup was of the time, but again, we can talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I didn't see very many people on a Saturday. Not many. Maybe, definitely Crazy Fists. Maybe Bullet. Maybe Offspring. Maybe I just went back and didn't do anything at the tent. No, I would have Offspring. Cool. Anyway, carry on.
Moving on to Sunday, the Lost Prophets Day. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to see who I would have got in to see first. Okay, yeah, I remember now. Went to see From First to Last on the main stage. I was a big From First to Last fan at this point. They were so good. Then we went to see the legendary set from Lethal Bizzle. Mm-hmm. On the second stage, which was one of the best things I've ever witnessed at Download. Okay. It was absolutely immense, because he's got like one good song really. He did play it, to be fair, so that was good. We all enjoyed that. But I liked the balls on this guy. I mean, he said in interviews, I watched an interview with him a couple of days ago, and he was saying that, yeah, man, I got booked for Download Festival, and I was like, what the hell? Isn't that one of those metal punk festivals? And he's like, well, I'll never turn down a gig, so I'll go and play it anyway. And he was just saying how mental it was, and just, you know, he got out on stage and he was like, what the fuck is this? And people were throwing everything at him. And I remember him saying in the interview, he was just like, I've come here to do a set. I'm going to do my set. Like, no one's going to stop me doing my set, whether they're throwing shit or not. And to be fair, by the end of it, everyone was really enjoying themselves. He had a great sense of humour. He was booting things back at people. He took it like an absolute champ. And he really did he had the whole crowd chanting Lethal by the end. So
really,
yeah, like
nice.
everyone was going, Bearzall, Lethal, Bearzall. So he won everyone over, even though he was like, it's one of the most odd bookings in Download history. Like, this is a very metal lineup, and you could have picked any band to come and play Download, and you pick a grime artist. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But oh well. Anyway, it was great, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was one of my highlights of Download ever, I would say. And then we watched a bit of Fight Star, which was good, and then sat down to watch Within Temptation, because the album the year before was really good. Then we watched In Flames, who were let down by horrific sound issues. Their first 3 songs sounded like robots fighting each other, not in a good way. And then the rest of their set was just, I banged on about how good In Flames were. I hate when this happens. It's happened with Manson, happens to so many bands. Whenever I have a really great live band and I bang on to all my friends to go and see them, either they're shit or the sound is shit, and it's never as good as I said it was. And then everyone thinks I'm a disappointment, or I don't know what live music sounds like. So that was one of those that still to this day really annoys me, that I dragged loads of my friends to In Flames and it was fucking shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't forgive In Flames for quite a while after that, actually. I ignored them for a while. So, and it wasn't even their fault. It was the sound guy's fault.
Yeah.
Then I remember watching Coheed and Cambria, sat down for a bit. And then we went back to the tents. And I have absolutely zero recollection of watching Lost Prophets. So I may have watched Lost Prophets. I also may have not watched Lost Prophets at all. So, yeah, for that one, I have no idea how I ended my musical journey at Download 2008. No idea.
Yeah.
What about you, dude? Do you have any memories of that day?
So, yeah, I definitely would have gone to see In Flames, because I was a big In Flames fan at the time. Come Clarity had just come out, which I was probably still playing a lot of the time, even though the next one came out at this point as well.
Oh, it was that year? Yeah, it was 2008, Sense of Purpose.
Truth, Question of Mirror's Truth, or something like that.
Sense of Purpose.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? Anyway. Yes, I don't remember seeing anybody else apart from Jonathan Davis. I didn't even go inside.
Of course.
I didn't even go inside the tent for Jonathan Davis. But it always bugged me for years and years and years. I remember being stood just outside the tent on the right-hand side, and there was a gate. There was a fence alongside, and there was a gate, and I was leaning on the gate. And for years, I was like, where the hell on the site was that gate?
There's a gate? A Download?
And so I'm pretty sure it would have been somewhere near where the entrance to RIP is, where the co-op is. I think where the co-op is was roughly where the third stage was. I had the map up a minute ago. This map isn't the best map, but I think I could work it out. Where was the Gibson stage? I can't even see it on here. It's too... Yeah, no, I think it's there. I think that might be where it was.
Okay.
But I'm still not certain. I thought I worked it out the other year when we were walking around just having a look at everything. But I had not heard any of Jonathan Davis's solo stuff at that point, so I wasn't really that interested in seeing him or seeing him for music. So I didn't know any songs. Just a few of my friends went, and I thought it'd be cool. And I was probably drunk. I was probably quite drunk at this point. Another one of my old friends. I know he had a lot of money at the time, and this was when you had to buy tokens, wasn't it? For beer. You couldn't just go and buy beer. Jesus. You had to go into a separate bar to buy a token and to go and exchange a token for a beer. And he got like 50 tokens at once, or something stupid. 40 tokens might have been. And you can't drink that much beer, so he was just giving them out as well. And I was skint, so I would take free anything.
Hells yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but I remember him and another one of my friends. They hung out quite a bit at the time, but they weren't that close. But they just spent the whole day together, and they just were both wasted by the end of the day, just completely smashed.
Love it.
Because they just went off on their own. I didn't see either of them for ages. They went off on their own. I don't know what day it was, but yeah, that was quite funny. But I think it probably would have been a Saturday. But so the same as you, I don't think I saw Lost Profits, but I mean, I had actually gone off of them at this point anyway. So yeah, I probably wasn't that interested in seeing them.
No, what you just reminded me of about tokens is I've written Tuborg because Tuborg was the beer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember having it and being, wow, this beer is actually really good. So I remember drinking a lot of Tuborg, and this is when we got excited about Tuborg. And then after this, for the year, we started buying Tuborg, and then by 2009, we were all about Tuborg. So
really,
yeah,
well,
definitely.
It worked then, because I don't know anybody who was even interested in Tuborg, even at the festival.
Oh
or after.
Man, we were like from this stage onwards, all the way up to Download 2009 and past that, we were always buying Tuborg bottles all the time. Yeah, I was quite sad actually when I don't know what happened to it. It kind of got phased out, but yeah, my group of friends, we were all about Tuborg. It's good stuff.
Their marketing.
I still remember opening that weird bottle that you had to peel, and just the smell of Tuborg. It brings me back more to 2009 than 2008. But yeah.
Tuborg's the one that smells of weed, isn't it? When you open it.
Yes. Yeah. Very much like weed. It smells beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sorry, you said about that, and I've got a note just saying Tuborg.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So yeah, the other sponsor. That's it. The other sponsor, at least one of them was Muller again.
Yes.
There's a lot of Muller rice again around. I don't think I took advantage of the Muller rice. After saying how skint I was, I could have just walked around to the Muller rice people going, yeah, I'll have some food. I'll have some free food.
Oh, we definitely did. There was a part of the racetrack that had a bit of the village on it.
Yeah.
And I specifically remember, in my head, it was a Muller rice bus, but I could be wrong.
I know you're right there. It did exist at one point.
Okay, there was a Muller rice bus, and then there was like hundreds of crates of fucking Muller rice on this thing. And yeah, my lot were going. I remember Adam and a couple of other people going up and getting some, coming back, giving us the Muller rice, taking their shirts off so they looked different, and then going back and getting more. So I'm pretty sure we ate quite an abundance of, and you know, like you were saying, we were all poor at this time. We were all living at, you know, we were living at home, but we didn't have great jobs. So
yeah,
everyone was just taking any chance to eat Muller rice. But I do remember halfway through the festival thinking, I can't eat another fucking Muller rice. I'm going to have it coming out my ears. So
awesome. Does this poster say how much it was? I know I've got it written down somewhere. Can I zoom in? Weekend tickets, £10. Car parking was £10 in advance when booking a ticket. £15 on the gate. It does not say how much the festival was. Where is it saved then? I can probably just Google it. How much? In fact, I wonder if I have my ticket here. I might do. For 130.
You actually got the ticket? Jesus.
I don't have all of them. I've got some of the earlier ones. I will have them all somewhere. Look at that.
Oh my God.
MySpace.com/stemcelluk.
That's awesome.
Oh, and this one. Sorry. Oh, we're not recording this. This is annoying.
Oh, come on. Why would you do that to me? If I was with you right now, I'd rip that ticket up.
Oh, I don't do that.
Don't you ever show me that ticket?
2009, 2008. Here we go. Oh, I can post this on thingy. Does it have a price? Is the next question. £130.
Show me the ticket.
Oh, sorry. I showed you all the other ones.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the ones I'm missing. That's awesome, dude.
Better. If I put it away.
That's perfect.
Go.
130 quid. Oh my God. If only.
Yeah. Does it say any names on this one? No. Friday gets open midday, Saturday, Sunday. Any other interesting information on this one? No, nothing that interesting. Yeah, like I said, I will have all of my download tickets here somewhere. I've got all of my wristbands except 03 and 04 somewhere, just not all together. I don't know where they are. So, and I have looked for them. I have spent like a couple of days just trying to go through everything I can, trying to find all of them, to have them all in one place, but I don't know where they've gone. It's really annoying.
Oh, I had to get someone to send me a download 2013 one, which I got sewed onto my jacket.
Yeah.
Someone sent me, I can't remember if this was through YouTube. I think it was. I think I'd done like I'm after download 2013 wristband because it's the only one that I lost.
Yeah.
And someone sent me a t-shirt I bought off them, and they sent me a 2013 wristband.
No way.
I was like, I can't believe that. That's amazing. So I sewed that onto my jacket. So
That's cool, man. Yeah,
that is cool.
really cool. Let's talk about some of the other bands that played that we didn't necessarily see, though. Because, like I said, this was very of the time, I think. So I had a friend who was a bit more into modern stuff than I was at the time, or a bit more up to date. Because you got to remember, Spotify was only released in 2008. So
Yes.
before this, we had to, if we wanted to get into a band, we had to go and buy a CD. And
True.
as
Yeah.
we've said, we were poor. We couldn't afford
hells yeah.
CDs.
Nope.
But yeah, a friend of mine who, I don't know how he had more money than me. Well, he probably had a good job, I guess. No, he didn't have a job. How did he have so much money to buy loads of stuff? But anyway, my point was going to be that he was into loads of these bands. Job for a Cowboy. What else was there? There was a load more that I was thinking of. The Black Dahlia Murder. So I don't know how long before this that these bands actually formed, but I assumed they're all brand new bands.
Or newish. You're talking like 2005-06.
Yeah.
So
So Bleeding Through and Throwdown, I think, were some of them as well. Trigger the Bloodshed, he was a big fan of. Between the Buried and Me, it was one of his favourite bands. And,
nice.
And so maybe it's me, maybe it's I only heard about all these bands through him, so I'm just assuming that they were all sort of huge at the time. But yeah, so that made me think that this lineup was very of the time. It had a lot of big bands at the time.
Yeah, it's definitely an of the time lineup for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of good bands on there. A lot of bands that are still going right now. Really, you could put this festival on. Minus Lost Prophets, you could and Kiss, because they don't play anymore. Minus those two, you could probably put the same festival on again, and people would quite enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, well, like we said earlier, a lot of these bands, I don't think Finger 11 have been back since 2008, which is annoying because I've still never seen them. But the bands that we said that are still playing this year, Rise Against, they're coming back this year. Within Temptation, headlining a stage now. Apocalyptica, headlining a stage now. Bullet for My Valentine, sub-headlining. So yeah, what other ones were there? I want to get all of these actually. Elliot Minor. I never really knew much Elliot Minor at the time, but apparently they went away for a long time, and this is their comeback gig.
Oh yeah, they were never one of my bands. I think they were a bit too emo for me, from what I remember.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely loads, and like we said, it made me curious which two downloads are the same the most.
Oh, you mean which ones had the most repeat of bands between the two? Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I'll task you with that one.
I should become a YouTuber and do these things. And
you really should do some in-depth videos on some stuff. Yeah,
I've got the ideas, just not the patience and
patience to execute them.
Yeah, or the personality to execute them. But
you've got the personality.
A personality on my own to execute them.
Oh, sorry. What I said was you've got a personality, not the personality.
Prick.
I'm joking.
And welcome back to Download with Adam and I don't know who I'd get to replace you. Nobody. No one could replace you. Anyway, that was
Thank you.
That was a joke. Yeah, it was of the time. I love 2008. I've actually got so it was quite funny. I put in a Discord that this was going to be our next episode, and I knew at the time I couldn't remember a lot about it. I wasn't quite sure why I couldn't remember it at the time, and we got nothing in the Discord. And I was like, great, I'm not the only person who can't remember a damn thing. But then I put a few videos up on TikTok and Instagram and everything, and we actually had quite a lot of people write into us with their stories, which was cool. And I've also got this book to read from as well. The download.
I was going to say that. Is it because everyone on our Discord is so young that none of them actually went to download 2008?
Probably. Yeah, that's probably. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to use that in my defense. Like, no one can remember it, not even me.
No, I think it is that
you are probably right.
Really, there isn't. Come on, out of the percentage of people that go to download now, how many people that went to download 2008 are still going to the festival? Probably not many.
14%.
14%. Yeah, see, there you go.
I don't know.
I think it would be less than that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, way
people
less.
that went to 2008 that went now. So it's not surprising. Probably, I'd say, 90% of the people on our Discord, their first download would have been way after this one, most likely. So we're just old fucks now, dude.
Yep.
Sorry to say that, but we are just old men.
But yeah, it could have been that people had the opportunity to go in 2008, but they didn't want to because of the lineup. So like I said earlier, I think a lot of people had complaints about this year. From what I read, people were complaining on the forums, not just about the bands, but about the headliners as well. It's always been happening. It's not just the current headliners that get complained about.
Every single year of download, people have complained. I bet even on the first one, they're like, oh, what's this shit festival that's come around?
Yeah.
What's this bullshit? My favourite band. Every single band that's playing isn't a band I want to see, man. This festival sucks.
Yeah, carved on stone tablets.
Who?
Oh,
written into a Nokia 3310.
That's the second time I've used that stone tablet joke today. I need to get a life.
Get a life, mate.
Get a life. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I was already sucked in. I was downloader through and through. I was always going to go, and knowing that I was, knowing that I was probably going to be going to university the year after this as well. A lot of my friends were going, so I was like, it's the place to go. But saying that, I don't know. I think it looks all right, but I don't look at the lineup as in depth as probably some other people, and cause I'll just go and watch. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Shall I? What do we want to do? Do we want to talk a bit more about it, or shall I go into?
I just want to give my last memory of it, which is the thing that literally just came to me yesterday, and I was always thinking to myself, what friggin' year was this thing there? And then I watched someone's very terrible footage from 2008 on YouTube, and it was in the background, and I'm like, thank God, this confirms. This confirms that the Duracell tent, which was like a mini club, was there in 2008.
Okay.
Because I was always trying to rack my brain to say, was it 6, 7, or 8 that they had the Duracell tent? It was 2008.
Yeah.
That's not going to mean fuck all to nobody, but yeah. Well, shall we see what other people are saying about this festival? It's a good little segue.
Yeah. So okay. So I think we should go to what people sent in to me first, and then I will read some bits from the Download Festival Unofficial History book by Ian Carroll, because it's a really good book. It's really interesting. You have to bear with me because these are all over the place, because I put the video out, or the little thing, in a lot of places.
Okay. You go for it, bud.
Although weirdly, I don't think anybody commented on Facebook on the on the thing that I put out. Everyone sent me a message, and it made me think: did I accidentally put a little button on it to say "send us a message"?
Send. You might have. Oh well, it doesn't matter how people get messages to us.
No,
it just we get them.
Seemed odd because we haven't received any messages for ages, and then we got like 4. So I want to start. I'll start with this one. Actually, yeah, I'll start with this one because this was a really nice one. This was from Lauren. She it's weird you can't see a thing anymore. So yeah, the thing I put up on the social medias was basically saying, "Did you go to Download 2008? Tell us some of your memories from it." And Lauren said, "Yes, I met my now husband in Blue Camp that year."
Oh.
And then she goes on to say, "Dillinger Escape Plan were insane that year. First time I saw them. Watching Lethal Bizzle getting Muller rice chucked at him is one of my all-time favourite Download memories. Whatever happened to the Muller bus?
Oh,
Yeah, so
yes,
I didn't remember it.
Confirmed. I wasn't imagining it.
Yeah, I almost didn't make 2008 as I broke as I broke three fingers on Monday before download, meaning I couldn't drive. Then my tickets didn't arrive until the morning I was leaving. Luckily, though, I made it. We had a bring your own hat party in camp, met my now husband while wandering drunkenly around Blue Camp. 5 months later, I moved from London to Glasgow to be with him. Still together, got engaged in download 2011, married at the pilot, and going this year with our 2 kids for our 20th download. So 2008 was a pretty special year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was
cool. Here we are. Here we are slating it the whole time.
Sorry.
Sorry, Laura. Lauren? Laura? Was it Laura? Lauren. Sorry, Lauren. We did not mean to slate your very special download.
No, yeah, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. I as soon as I saw it, I was like, it's got to be the first one to read out. I really loved getting that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. We've got another one from James. Yes, and what a balls up it was after going in 06 and 07, walking for miles. He said, yes, the layout wasn't great. I believe the second stage was on tarmac, which was interesting, but the music was good as always. Darren, standout memory for me was getting covered in the free Muller rice while watching Lethal Bizzle.
It seems to be a standout memory for quite a lot of people from that.
Yeah, I didn't see him. That was it from Facebook. Let's go to. We even got some on TikTok, which is cool. I haven't posted on TikTok for ages before this. You just get to it. 2 on here. 3 on here apparently. Yeah, The Offspring was a riot. Sorry. I got one from Kev on TikTok. Yeah, The Offspring was a riot. So much fun, but the second stage being on tarmac was brutal. The Wild Hearts were ace, but got cut off due to Ginger yapping between songs. Yeah, I don't know. There's only 2. Sorry. From Ricky Lee. Sorry. We originally went for Kiss, ended up going back the next day as well. Last minute plans for The Offspring, absolutely amazing. And go to Instagram if TikTok will allow me out of its app. Bloody thing.
It does not. It wants to invade you with Chinese bots. And
yeah, this is the final one actually. One from Michelle. One from Michelle on Instagram. That tarmac on second stage. And then I replied saying simple plan on that second stage were a fire emoji because I'm cool and down with the kids now. I didn't know.
Jesus.
That's another reason why I couldn't do YouTube. I don't know what to say to every single comment that's you have to comment on everything, don't you? With a little something.
Well, you don't have to. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I like doing it, but other people, I can see other people do not respond to comments.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just being cheap and small talk. So what's this? And Michelle went on to say, yeah, Simple Plan was deadly on that stage. Fun but deadly. I don't remember it being deadly, but I get it now. I kind of get it after we talked about it earlier as well, like the pits and everything.
Yeah.
And I've said on here before, it was such a small, intimate gig for me, or show for me, Simple Plan. Like I said, I'd never seen them. I thought I was there with only about maybe 1,000 people. That was it. But I think that's probably because I must have got so close to the front. I just didn't see how many people were behind me.
You were literally just seeing, in front of you and stage, but you didn't look backwards. Just like
tunnel vision at Simple Plan because I was just blown away the whole time. I wasn't involved in any of the pits or falling down or anything like that. But yeah, I loved it. I don't think I've seen. No, I have seen Simple Plan since then. Of course, I have. What am I talking about? Saw them a couple of years back.
Nice.
And that was all of the. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say thank you very much to everyone for sending some stuff in. Yeah, that was great to hear those, and to confirm that we're not the only ones that were at Download 2008. We didn't imagine everyone that was there.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad some people got back, but it did mean that I'd forgotten too much. Anyway, so I'm going to go to the book as well. But yeah, so like I was saying, in this book, it seemed like everyone was flying in, playing and flying out.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please sit down, take your mirrors away, and prepare for Story time with Adam.
Like I said earlier, the first one from Jonathan Davis. I had wanted to see Children of Bodom, but I was doing press, so I missed them. But it's work and it's unglamorous.
Yeah.
And I think that can just show, just like sometimes it can be a bit too much. Like he probably didn't have a choice to do that. You know, you get to a certain level and you can't just do the things you want to do anymore.
No.
Which must
Yeah,
suck.
you've got places to go, people to see. You fly in. You want to hang around at Donington because bands always do. It's like legendary. You want to stay, chill with all your mates and do stuff. But he was like, nope, gotta go. Bye.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people who said that, and especially about Kiss and Judas Priest and Motorhead as well. You know, they were like, oh, I wanted to see this band, but I couldn't. There were some people who stayed, some people who just got absolutely wasted, and it was just a massive party. I want to be a part of that party at some point, and I reckon we'll get there. The artist party behind the main stage.
I'm not sure artists party anymore, dude. I hate to break that bubble, but for most artists these days, it's cup of tea, get to bed.
Cup of tea, get to bed. Yeah.
Rock and roll is long dead now.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. But yeah, I think somebody here from Go Audio, Joshua Wilkinson, download was really good fun. We'd wanted to watch Kids in Glass Houses, and we'd just done a tour with them, but we had to leave to go to a show in Yeovil. Our sound was great, and we had a great time, etc.
Would that have been Yeovil Ski Lodge that they would have been going to?
Might have been, yeah.
Most likely.
Might well have
sweet.
been, because it was 2008. Oh, no. This was the one I marked. Sorry. At one point, this was from Go Audio again, James Matthews. At one point, when we were playing, I could see a stall called Weed World. And just for a laugh, I said, if you want to come and say hi, you'll probably find us in Weed World later on. And everyone started cheering. When I got off stage, this guy came up to me and said, you mentioned Weed World on stage. Come with me, I'll sort you out. And he gave me a big bag, which, as I don't smoke, I gave it to Johnny Truant. We've got some mates in a metal band called Johnny Truant, and they were there. They were playing that night, and we were gonna camp with them and watch them, but we got offered another gig in Yeovil, so we had to up and leave straight after. But Johnny Truant watched us from the side of the stage, and it was a great experience, and we can't wait to do it again. So next year we would like to hang out and get hammered. Hammered, sorry, I said a bit.
Hammered. Nice, that's awesome.
That was a good one. So this one was from, I have no idea how to say his name. It's Cahir O'Doherty from Fighting with Wire. They were from Derry, I believe, in an Irish band. I spent most of the time getting really lashed in the backstage area on the Friday, complaining about the shit music and basically making a fool of myself. I think I took a running leap at a gigantic woman at one point. She was about fucking 9 foot. I was kind of hanging on her going, you're massive. And she said, get the fuck off of me. And I think she called me bitch at one point, which I was really shocked about, but I took it really well, being Irish and all. The next day, I had just the worst hangover ever imaginable. It was just so bad, I was like, my whole face had melted, and I had to go have a shower. I couldn't even eat. And when we had to go and have photos done, it looked like someone sprayed me with AIDS. I was really, really fucked. Another one. Actually, there was one from Johnny Truant that I was going to read. Ruben Gotto from Johnny Truant. We were third from the top, below Testament and Saxon. And I remember that while we were setting up, the tent was really empty, and there were loads of people there who worked for us and with us because we had been getting a lot of press in the lead up to the festival. It suddenly dawned on me that if no one was in the tent to watch us, it was all going to be over and we might as well fucking chuck it in. So I really started shitting myself 5 minutes before we were due to go on. But the tent then really packed out and it was amazing. I couldn't hear a thing on stage. The sound was rough as shit, and I almost fell off the monitors into the photo pit as well, which was good. We turned up on the Friday really late. We'd wanted to see the Beat Union and Rollo Tomasi, but we missed them both. We went to bed early, and some fucking bitch tried to break into our van. Me and Ollie were asleep at about 5:30 in the van, and someone was trying to open the side door of the van. So I jumped out of the van to give them a kicking, and it was some 15-year-old girl totally off her face. She didn't know what was going on, which was a good laugh. We played Saturday and got really hammered. We waited until we had played to start drinking. So when we got chucked out of the VIP area at 3 a.m. and everyone else was in bed sleeping, we drank half of our body weight in alcohol and went on a mission to go to the normal camping area and bother people until 10 in the morning. I bought a tent just to ignore it all weekend. It was just a place to keep our beer. Dillinger was amazing. Biffy Clyro were amazing. I've never seen either band play a bad set. The problem with it being a main metal festival of the year in the UK is that when you get backstage, everyone you've ever had a beer with in a band are there. So when you try to get to see a band, by the time you've walked 10 metres, you've had about 15 beers with people and you miss everything. It's cool, but it's bad when you see your mates and they say, "Did you see us play?" You have to tell them, "No, I was having a few beers." We spent the first 24 hours trying to stay sober before the show, and then we spent the next 24 hours trying to get better.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a great little insight into what was happening backstage. That's cool.
Yeah, and it was just, from reading this book, it was just one big party at the time, and everyone had someone who they were looking up to at that point. So even like the biggest bands, they were like somebody that they were looking up to was there as well. Just a big nerd fest, really. It's like
big nerd fest. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Download's still like that, with all of the sort of smaller bands looking up to the big ones, being like, "Oh shit, hope I run into them," or "Oh my god, we need to go and see them." So
yeah,
hopefully it's still like that.
There's one here from Gonez from Sons of Albion, and this was a cool thing. I wasn't aware of this. The great thing about the Gibson stage was that behind Gibson had loads of amps and stuff, so you could try them out, and guitars and shit, and a drum kit set up there as well, and a bass, so we could plug in there and have a warm up before we went on, which was cool. That's quite a cool thing.
Awesome. That's very cool.
For
like that.
Yeah, Gibson to do. Like, obviously, if it's a drink or something, they'll just bring a fuck ton of their drinks. But yeah, something Gibson could actually do as part of the stage.
That's wicked.
There's a bit of knowledge that you might have forgotten. From Mike Horton from Plymouth. This was the year Kiss went for the world record for the most Kiss face-painted people in one place world record.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd forgotten about that completely.
Yeah, that's gone from my memory.
Yeah. I remember now that you said it. I don't know. I can't remember. And to finish off, I wanna leave with this one because it was fucking hilarious. It was from Daniel Steff from the Gold Coast in Australia. So just a guy, not in a band.
Just a guy.
Yeah.
Just a guy.
And he says, not all of it, I'm not going to read all of it. Earlier in the week, we had met a guy named Joel, who was by himself, but offered us beer at the time when we did not have access to our own. This, at Download, is seen in the same light as laying down your life. So we took him in and repaid our debt. Joel was good fun all weekend, but on the last night, Joel realised that he had too much leftover alcohol. Some would share it, some would give it away to strangers, and some would just try to lug it all the way home. Not Joel. He drank it. All of it. And landed about 3 feet from where he took his last sip. We really felt sorry for him, and so we did the only honourable thing we could do. We buried him under all the campsite rubbish.
Oh, that is
brilliant.
Incredible. That is a brilliant ender. Well done, dude.
Yeah.
That's great.
The final thing about that I wanted to say that I got from the book really was that it made me realise that, even though, so we're there all weekend, but just how much must go into this, like in the background, into every download, to have these bands come in. They know they're going to be on a very specific time on a very specific day, and they'll fly in, play quickly, and then go again. But so it really is for us. It's not for the band. Well, it is for the bands, I guess, but it's not for the organisers. It really is a gift for us. Maybe not a gift. Sounds really cheesy to say, but you know what I mean.
No, I get what you mean though. It really is for the fans. Otherwise, there'd be no reason to put it on. Otherwise, would they? Yeah. So I do get that. Yeah, and it's not like I was thinking that all the bands are all there all weekend, because I knew it doesn't work like that. But yeah, just reading about it a lot, and all the bands that have to do that just to put a show on, just to be part of that show for us as well.
A lot of these, a lot of people were saying, we grew up knowing about Monsters of Rock, so just being part of this day is legendary. It's what we've always wanted to do. So yeah, it's a very, very cool book. Very, very cool. Yeah. Excellent. So overall, what was your overall thing? What thing of download?
I'll phrase this because his range as well. So our final thoughts of download 2008. Not the greatest download in history. For some people, it might have been. But yeah, this one sits towards the end for me, if I'm honest. I remember obviously having fun with my friends. Some of the bands were good, but it was in a really weird location. The sound on the main stage was just horrific the whole time. The walk was long. The weather was not spectacular. So yeah, I think if 2009 didn't end up being as great as it was, and 2009 was another 2008, I might not have gone back to download again. So 2009 being so incredible, and we will get to that at some stage.
Yeah, at some stage.
Sort of relit my passion for download, because this one didn't make me lose it, but it was very meh. It was a very meh download. And like I said, it's one of the only two bastard children of Download Festival. So
yeah.
That's how I feel about it. What about you?
Yeah, the same. It wasn't. There's a chance I didn't see any of the headliners on the main stage while talking about it at the minute. I probably did. That's probably something I'd remember coming away from it. I'd go, yeah, I would have downloaded. Didn't see any of the headliners. But yeah, I mean, it's given me one of my most favourite memories from any download, which was Simple Plan. Looking like I said, a lot of people were disappointed with the lineup. It was a different time back then. And we've heard about all the bands that, they were busy doing other stuff. They might have even had to play another show the same day. So who knows? There might have been a real struggle to book any of these bands, similar to what we heard about with the headliners for last year. Andy contacted so many bands, and nobody was available. Maybe the same for this year. Loads and loads of bands that he wanted couldn't make it, or were already booked for other festivals. So who knows?
Yeah, you've always got to have backups and stuff, don't you? So
yeah.
But they've done a good download thing at the time. They went with 2 established acts, 1 new act. So it's a good way to go with download. But I think what we should do is we should go on a little tour, even if it's just me and you. We should at this year's download, we should go and relive some of the sites of Download 2008. We'll try and figure out between me and you where things are, and we'll go back and do some 2008 reminiscing a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Because they're easy access for us now, because they're not hidden. The festival took place in the areas where we will be. So 2008 will be an easy one for us to retrace our steps of, we can't get into the infield. So there's shit built all over it now. So we're never going to be able to go and see where the stage was for 2003 or something. So we should go on a little trip if we remember to, and go and relive some 2008.
Yeah, I'm well up for that.
Places.
And if you're listening, if you have the program for 2008, anybody listening, if you've got the program that has the map in it, I'd love to get a copy of it, or a decent photo, or a really good sort of quality. Yeah,
a high res photo. Take like a 4K picture and send it so we can zoom into it, so me and Adam can figure out where the hell everything was. Yeah,
because we got one. It was like I was searching for a map of 2008 for a long time, and then I managed to find one. I think somebody posted in on Facebook maybe and said they have one, and I was like, "Can you send me a picture?" Because I haven't seen the layout for years. But it's all a bit blurred. It's hard to actually read stuff when you zoom in. So yeah, I'd love to, like Simon said, have a good quality one, so we can actually walk to these places and go, right, we know exactly where we are. This is what was happening in 2008.
Yeah,
here.
That's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Hells yeah, we'll do that.
So yeah, well, it's time to wrap it up there then. That was a really good episode. I really enjoyed that one. So we're going to wrap it up very soon. But before we do that, we've got to say a huge, big thank you to our Patreons: Marty Ellis, Mike Ferris, Andy T2, Liam Hopwood, Tom West. How does Corn make their music? They play it by ear. Ian H. Watkins, in brackets, as in steps.
Nice. Good recovery.
Yeah. Matthew, In 2008, my wife made me get married instead. Ah, Chris. Congrats.
Oh, damn.
When our time is up, when our lives are done, will we say we've had our fun? I don't understand that one. Do you get is that a lyric?
I think that's a Lost Prophets quote.
Fuck's sake.
Quite possibly.
Anyway, Ben Saccone, Johnny Bravo, Chris, Sean Schofield, Jacobs, H from Steps for Download, and James. Thank you, all of you massive legends. We really appreciate the support you give us, and hopefully you enjoy the stuff we give you back too. Onto that, we have the design for the t-shirt for the 2024 Patreon exclusive t-shirt only. T-shirt. Suit you, sir.
And it is sick.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
It is sick, yeah.
The guy has done an amazing job. So yeah, like I said last episode, it was a guy who did our original t-shirt with the creature coming out of the microphone, and he's incorporated that creature back into this in a very cool way. So yeah, over the next few days, I'm going to be sorting out who's actually meant to be going onto the t-shirt. I'm going to get your own fonts, like I did for the last one. Everyone's going to have their own little metal font. Chris Henderson, I might change yours from the calculator font because I'm not sure how much you like that. Whenever I look at the last one, I'm like, they're all metal or kind of metal, apart from that one. Why did I do that?
You got to change it for Chris Endo, mate. You got to do it.
You might like it. You might like it. I don't know. If you don't, let me know. If you don't like the font that I gave you on the last shirt, basically let me know, and I will change it to something different that you hopefully will like more. Also on Patreon, I've moved things around a bit. We didn't really have anybody using the £3 tier anyway, so I've scrapped that. And it's just a £5 tier, an £8 tier, and a £10 tier. Now everybody gets mentioned every episode anyway.
Everybody!
We were just saying about the Patreon t-shirt. It's exclusive to Patreons. You cannot buy these shirts. If you want to be back, if you want to have your name on it, well, at first, if you want to help support us, that would be absolutely amazing, and everything we get goes back into the podcast, and we can do some really cool things with it. So, yeah, if you want to and can, it's very much appreciated. And like we said, we try and give back some very cool things to show our appreciation to you. But yeah, if you want to be on the t-shirt, you should go and sign up now, because later on in the year it'll be too late, basically. Oh yeah, and just tell people where they can find it. So in the episode notes, if you click see more, you can find a Linktree. We'll have links to everything else in there: Simon's stuff, Stu's stuff. What did we say earlier that we put in? I can't remember what we said we put in now. Everything that we've said that we will put in there. You'll find our Linktree. You can find access to our Discord in there if you want to come and join the community, the little community that we've made. But yes, our Patreon will be in there. If you want to join up, go and sign up to that and have a look at the tiers and see what you get for those. And the last thing from me is we've gone back to 2008 this episode. I'm going to take it back to something I was saying quite a long time ago. And that is just tell your friends about us. We're coming up to the countdown to download like we do every year. We absolutely love this time of year. And we've said loads of times, review us, rate us on Spotify and everything. But the best thing has always been to tell your friends about us. Word of mouth is the best advertisement for us or anything, basically. So, yeah, go and tell your friends. Let us know which friends you've told. I want a list. I want a list of 10 people you've told. Homework to you guys from me. Yeah, there we go. Simon, let us know what you're doing at the moment.
Yes, YouTube is going really well at the moment. People seem to be subscribing quite a lot, which is very, very good.
Nice, yeah.
Pushing things along nicely. I'm very happy with it. So again, thanks for everyone for all the support on there as well, and for supporting us with the Dear Download podcast. But at this point, my latest video should be me ranking all the download festivals I've been to. So it does link quite well to this video.
Yeah.
To this podcast. So it'll be good to watch in conjunction. If you're listening to this and you want to know how I rank 2008 in my downloads, go and check it out on YouTube because it will be out now. Yeah. And apart from that, continuing with the band stuff. And yeah, just cracking on, mate. Looking forward to. I'm starting to get jittery now for festival season. It's starting to, it's getting a little bit lighter in the evenings. Red Sky at Night, Shepherd's Delight, and all that.
Yeah.
I'm a bit, getting a bit jazzed now. So yeah, exciting.
Excellent. Well, yeah, it's time to wrap it up. Next episode, we're going to have Stu back on again. So he wasn't gone away. It wasn't away for very long, and we're going to be doing our own sort of guide or beginner's guide to download, to camping, everything we can think of. And as you've just heard, we've got quite a lot of experience, so we know a lot of the things that we need to talk about. So what we want to hear from you is don'ts. We'll do the do's, you do the don'ts. Tell us the things you've done that you've regretted or seen people do, and it's the sort of thing you really should not be doing at download. You regret it, and things that you might have thought was a good idea at the time, and you've gone, yeah, do you know what? Bringing this 4-poster bed was a bad idea. Don't bring something like that. I can't think of what not to do, because I am a professional at festivals, thanks to Fat Franks. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Just ask Chids about his chair. Anyway. Fuck's sake. I'm very forgetful and I'm very weird tonight. So it's time for us to go. Simon, thank you. Goodbye. It's a good
Bye.
It's a good Simon, it's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye, y'all.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.